Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And of course, I'm Ron.
And we have our guest back with us, who we basically call family.
Yeah, he ain't got no more.
I'm Hassan from Philly. I'm happy to be here as usual.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And we are talking today about raising Kanan. This is season 2, episode 4, and it was titled "Pay the Toll," which we seen kind of tied into the episode. We're gonna get into that in just a second. So if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back to get the discussion started. Everyone, we are back, and like I said, we're talking about raising Kanan. You know, I'm kind of channeling my 90s vibe, the big earrings.
Yeah, I love the earrings.
Yeah, so I'm channeling my inner Rock today. And you know, Rock was definitely a trip this episode. She had a lot going on. As if things weren't bad enough last episode with Unique, now she's running into problems with the Italians. So we seen straight off the bat, you know, homie getting held up at the light and they rolling up on him with those big guns. And they seem to have gotten away with a decent amount of their product. Yeah. So
two times.
Twice this episode, because we seen it again later on when Worrell was driving through trying to do the school bus.
So we know who's behind it. Unique this is exactly why I said last week that I said it was a mistake to leave Unique alive, because Unique is playing chess. He is orchestrating this stuff behind the scenes.
But it was a bigger mistake to leave Royale, because see, Royale in his big mouth, see, he's got that allegiance with Unique, and it's going to be a problem.
And he's showing it.
Showing
it. That's Rock's fault. Rock is she took several L's in this episode, and it's because she was the one that brought Royale in the camp, and Lou said that was a mistake.
Look, I thought that Unique is pretty flagrant this week too, because after he did what he did, he's still rolling up, taunting Juliana, and then he was straight up just like out in front of the store, all willy-nilly talking to Royale in the car, and I'm like, it's broad daylight, people can see you, right? So I mean, Unique is just doing whatever he wants and taunting Rock in the process.
And I think what else is going to blow up in her face, what Juliana said, because Juliana was shook. That's why when you were saying, what we're gonna do about Juliana, because she took them back there, I was like, look how scared she was. She wasn't going to go against Unique, and now that she sees that Unique is coming and going as he pleases, and Rock really can't protect her, how much you want to bet that she gonna go back and tell her cousin that she got snatched up and that Rock can't protect her, and that's gonna be another issue for Rock.
Look, Rock is nuts for putting her money back in Juliana's store in the first place. I'm like, how many times does it take for something to happen in that store before you move your money? Because first the rats was eating it, then Unique comes and raised the spot. So you would think that Unique knowing where her money is stashed alone would be enough for her to move it, because you don't just put your money back where it's been compromised. He knows where that spot is now.
And she told her this is not her game. She said, this is your game. I don't play this game. But Unique is real crazy to play with her, knowing who her cousin is. So now I guess he has some type of investment with the Italians, which
I think he has backup, right?
Yeah, and those Italians, they rolled up on Rock too.
They different.
To let her know, like, you playing in the wrong neighborhood. And he basically told her, just because we ain't out there don't mean we ain't out there.
Plus, I mean, that's arrogant for you to think that you can go to somebody else's state or city and just start doing stuff and not you know,
Pay the
check
toll.
in.
Pay the toll.
Pay
Pay
the
the
toll.
toll. That's what I'm saying. You don't live there. Like, how you think you're gonna just pull up and do that?
Yeah, she's
No,
wilding.
I don't blame her tenacity, but like you said, it's just not good common sense to know that, particularly back in that time, New York and New Jersey, I mean, they were pretty much, you know, I mean, you didn't do a whole lot unless the mob knew about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing with the mob is they'll let you.
Look, you can't do that now, Philly.
Right. The thing with the mob is they'll let you, you know, have that little front store. But when you start getting big,
yeah,
that's when they come knocking on the door.
They want a piece.
Yeah.
And Rock was straight up disrespectful. He took his little offer, crumbled it up, and threw it, said rejected.
So. He liked that though. He liked that spiciness in her. You know, they call Italians organized crime. We're gangs. You know what I mean? And they did things by order, and she's not doing. She has no order. So I hope that doesn't bite her.
I think she does. I mean, I think she wants to implement order, but the thing is, you know, like with the Italians, it goes way back.
Way back.
This is something that just started yesterday. And she is moving too quickly for this order.
Right.
And you know, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Well, I just wanted to finish to say, the way she's moving, she moves like she doesn't have the time, or she feels as though it has to happen now or else. And I think that will be her demise because of that speed that she's moving at. Although Cartier did tell her that the speed of the boss is
speed of the crew. Yeah,
oh yeah, that's what he told Lou.
Yeah, but see, I think the thing with Rock is because it kind of reminded me of Godfather of Harlem, and how, you know, the blacks and the Italians had that, you know, rift between them, but they really respected Bumpy Johnson because of how he moved.
Right.
And Bumpy even tried to unite the black crews, you know, of the major cities, and it didn't work out because of that crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of what Rock has working against her as well, is because everybody wants to be at the top and nobody really wants to fall in under one leader. So, and we've seen that because, you know, her and Lou have this kind of tumultuous tension between them. We've seen he tried to speak up on her behalf and smooth things over with the Italians, and she was like, don't speak for me.
Don't speak for me.
Know?
Well, you know, it was just the three of them and they were deep. And that's the thing. I was like, you gonna come up, you know, just bogart your way into somebody else's city, and you're not even deep. Like, how deep is her bench? And yeah, so he was just looking at it logically, like.
I think you know, you said it earlier about not taking Unique out. I'm telling you, I remember I said that I think he's gonna be the one to take her out. Because if he gets tied in with the Italians, he's giving them insight. He's their eyes and ears of everything that she's doing. I don't know how he's finding this out, but I guess Worrell
is doing it.
I was about to say
Worrell, and also the guy that was in jail with him.
Right.
That guy, did you see him on the other side? Like, he's back out on the street. And because Unique, you know, he whipped up on dudes that were trying to come at him.
Right.
He owes him a solid.
Right.
And that's why I think Rock should really take heed to some of what Lou was saying, because he was like, this is not just your life on the line, this is our life on the line too. Yeah, and I think that Rock is, I'm sure she has it in the back of her head, but I feel like her arrogance is like, it's kind of like a teenager who feels so invincible, like I can't be touched or something like that. And you would think after what happened with Unique last week that she would realize she can be touched, but she just has this arrogance about her where she is like, it's my way or the highway.
I just want to see where I just want to see where it comes from, because you never see a crew, you never see an army with her, or even she having some interface with an army. I mean, it's always just 3 or 4. And like you said, when she rolled up on those Italians, if they wanted to,
they could have right then and there.
Right then and there, end of story.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think you mentioned Cartier. Her alliance with him could be very beneficial because he could level up her game.
Oh, definitely. And I think if any move is to be made, that is the one to check. That's a good check to make, because, you know, he's been out there, but he has the smarts, and I saw him, you know, dropping little nuggets, not little nuggets. He was dropping some big nuggets on
about the art.
Yeah.
And basically letting her know how to hide in plain sight.
The money, right?
Yeah.
And hide her money and and wash it and clean it. But she has a habit of, as much as we say she's arrogant and everything like that, she does listen because she'll cozy up to people who she thinks she can learn something from. And that's what she was doing with Cartier. Like she was like, I see you. You move different than any other. And she was like, I'm here because I want to learn how to do that. So she's learning from him. And even with Symphony, that was one of the things that attracted her to Symphony, that he was telling her about
architecture
and urban planning, housing, and all of that stuff. She was attracted to that. She learned. That's when she went to Baisley because the idea was Symphony and stuff. So she does listen.
Is that a new boo alert? You basically saying?
Oh, with Cartier.
I think that's a new boo alert.
No,
he was coming on. He's coming on to her, but
he wants her for sure. I don't.
He wants her for sure, but I think she doing whatever she has to do to get that knowledge.
She is a black widow spider. She gets a mate, and then once she mates with it, she kills it.
She's finessing.
And just like with Symphony, I'm glad I saw Symphony step up and say, "Leave me alone."
He's like, "Peace out."
Well, he said, "Look, leave me alone. Don't call
me no more."
And I'm glad he said that. But here comes Rock.
Right.
Oh man, you do what you want to do. I mean,
Rock. Because I think sometimes she gets
like, "Ooh." When he said it, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was.
But I think he knows that she's his weakness. And she also knows, like, she has this, I don't want to say delusion, but I think that she wants a family life. She believes that she can have a family unit, but trying to balance that with the streets. I think she also understands the reality of the situation, which is why she let him go the first time. But she also has a weakness for him. So it's kind of like, they're each other's kryptonite.
Well, I think when he asked her that question about what happened the night he took Kanan away, he knew she was lying. And I think he just started really thinking about the consequences of everything, her lifestyle. And probably was like, let me just pull back. And then plus she talked to him crazy. Like sometimes, she comes at him like she's the man in the relationship.
She comes at a lot of people crazy. The way she was talking to Lou and saying, even a hoe can make money on her knees. I'm like,
right. He was like, I ain't no hoe. He said, I can't tell. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, Rock was on one this episode.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even going back with Symphony, she, even though she has this persona, she can care less as to what happens to that relationship.
She cares about that man. She love that man.
She does. And you can see the look on her face, even though she fought it. She fought that, that look of, wow, I'm losing this guy. And but you could see in her eyes that that's a loss she, is going to be difficult to
Oh yeah, she loves that man.
She does love him. It's just that I think for his sake, it's best to let him go. I don't know if she knows that, but for his sake, I'm glad to see that at least he took that initial step to try to break away from this toxic relationship he has with Rock. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And Cartier now, that's a whole nother story. I think he's time enough for Rock. Whether he wants to deal with her or not, I think he, even if he deals with her, I think he would only deal with her on a surface level. I don't think he's going to go too deep with her because, Cartier is just Cartier. He's too.
But remember, he did his research on her. She's a powerful woman, right? And any man of good character and power wants that type of queen by his side because how much they can conquer together.
Yeah, but
she's a boss.
But
she's a boss.
If your queen is much like you, like a man, I mean, you gotta, having a queen, first she has to recognize that she's the queen and not the king. Rock wants to be the king. She don't have time for that weakness stuff. She's like, if anybody's voice is going to be heard, it's going to be mine.
Always.
Symphony's really the only man we see her yield to.
That's the calmness. That's the calmness to her. He brings her. He levels her.
Yeah.
And I think it really, like you said, when he said, I wanted to, I said last season, she said that he was her vacation. He was like, I wanted to be your home.
I was like, wow, that was powerful.
It was, but I think it hit home for her that he's not one to be strung along.
But he did talk about having another child. Well, she talked about having. What did he think about having another child too? So I think she cares for him, but she's really about that dollar. She's about that money.
She is.
She want that
but
life.
He don't want a child in that lifestyle though.
No,
like
he does. He don't even want to be around that lifestyle, so let alone a child.
That's
and
why
you can tell that he really cares about Kanan too, which I think that buying the house is a move for her to try to get Kanan into like a safer location. Right. But ultimately, like that lifestyle, it follows you everywhere. No matter where you go, you're gonna think you safe, but people can always find you.
Especially with them Italians. I'm from Philly and we had a problem, not a problem. It was the issue with the Italians of how they can find you could be out in the suburbs, you could be they're gonna come, if they're coming, but it's organized. So they're gonna get you in a way where you're not expecting it. And I'm hoping that she doesn't really rub them the wrong way now, retaliate, what just happened, so
they have a lot of tentacles, and we see that one of them is Royale. Royale is right knee deep. Yeah. So they can get you any kind of way, because while you think that they don't know somebody that knows you, you're wrong.
I think Warrell is gonna be dead before the end of the season.
Yeah, I think he's on his way out, and I think Marvin be just the person to do
it. Sure enough, because it's bad enough.
Marvin with that money.
Yeah. When he brought up Unique, he was like,
but he ain't the reason why that money missing. We know why that money missing.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he's gonna get blamed.
Got a house.
he'll be the blame for it, but
he's gonna get blamed for it though.
And really, that's what's that now? 3 strikes against Morel.
Yeah, he out. He should be out.
He's ready.
Yeah,
his numbers up.
I'm surprised Kanan really hasn't learned his lesson from just like taking things. Like you can't be so reckless to think that you could just swipe stuff and it's not going to be noticed, and that. Because Rock already checked Lou and said that his money is her money. So I suspect that Rock feels the same way about any money in her organization. So Kanan has to understand that he's stealing it basically from his mother.
They're not suspecting him right now. They're not suspecting him right now. It's because they have the situation that's going on with Unique. So Kanan can kind of get over now and do his little dirt.
But he gonna get somebody killed.
That's what I'm going to say. He gonna get somebody hurt.
Well, he already said it in the beginning, because he's the reason why a lot of people lost their lives, passing out the bad stuff, and then all those people died because of it, and they've been covering for him. He's really not. What's the guy name they saying is his dad? That's not
Vernon.
He's really gonna not know that's not, because he's nothing like that guy. He's more like the cop.
But look, don't sleep on Marvin, because Marvin's gonna put some eyes on that room, and he's gonna find out that. It's Kanan that keeps taking, keeps grabbing some of that money. And that's, so Marvin gave me that look like he's trying to think of a way to watch Royale, but in turn, he's going to see what's really going on. I'm thinking.
But it might be after the fact, though, after Royale's already
dead.
Because Scrap already got killed, and I don't even think Scrap was a snitch.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm glad they had finally addressed that body they hid in the wall last season, because I'm like, I know that thing got a stink.
And then you talk about all those rats. Well, hell, you got a rotten body, a rotting body in the walls. What do you think it's going to draw?
Right.
Yeah. So I suspect that's going to become a problem too, with a lot of those tenants walking by and probably smelling that stench.
Right.
That will permeate through the whole
building.
And I don't understand what Marvin was thinking.
He didn't know no better. He wasn't thinking.
He probably was just like, he couldn't get the body out the building without all those people looking, and I think that's
noticing. Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a med student to know what rotting flesh will smell like.
Right.
And I'm sure you've watched a number of shows that if you didn't know, you ought to know. So
right.
I just don't know what he was thinking, but anyways,
that he couldn't get the body out the building. That's probably what it
was. Well, he did one of those big old it was a movie I was watching the other night, and this guy had this what do you call it, the things that when you want to burn a body, to burn a body to ash, but it wasn't in the wall. It was this big huge container he had. Body, and he put it in there, and it heats
like an incinerator or something.
And it was something that you could actually move. So you just chop up the body, put it in there, and burn it to ashes, and end of story. So It's just interesting to see how he chose to get rid of a body, putting in
And
a
probably because I mean, what was that, the 80s and 90s?
And we also know Marvin ain't the brightest bulb in the
well,
box.
that's I think is more the problem.
He's
And
a
I
live
don't
wire.
think he's stupid. I just think that he's kind of careless.
He don't think first. Right.
Yeah.
So, that's the only thing with him. And we kind of talked about Kanan going to visit Vernon in jail. And I think Kanan was looking for some resolve. Like he was looking to get his confirmations, about DEFCON maybe being his father. But he didn't get that at all. He got more of the same.
Listen, Rock set that up. Rock set that up. Yeah, because the fact that she had Marvin take her down there, and then afterwards she was like, "Oh, did you die? How was it the conversation with his brother?" Like, yeah, she called up there. She put some money on his books. Say whatever to Kanan. Rock was behind that too.
You think so?
She was, but
he was.
I think so because you could tell she's already trailing Kanan. Like once he said he was going to hang out with Famous, and then she seen him walk down the street, she kind of had that look in her face, like I don't really trust this, which led her to follow him. So I think she's been orchestrating a lot because she realizes like he's questioning her more and more. Like he questioned her again this episode, where he was confronting her about telling him to kill the cop. And so she had a good her excuse this week was a little bit better because she brought up how cops can pretty much say whatever they want to say, just like they did with the Central Park 5. So the way
she get the hands for using the Central Park 5 in her food.
Right.
Well, but
she shouldn't have tried to manipulate it. But I
that's
think
what I'm saying.
An argument like that could sway Kanan.
Oh yeah, it was. But the thing is, she was lying.
Right.
And the fact that she used these innocent brothers to further her lie is why I think she should get the hand.
Yes.
Two is, and I agree with you, while that lie might have worked, had Kanan not met Detective Howard, and because if that were the case, then you would ask if I were Kanan. In my mind, I'd say, well, he didn't try to jam me up, knowing now that I was the one that shot him. So
he knows.
No, I said, if I were Kanan, this is how I would be thinking. Mom, you got to be lying because he didn't try to jam me. Now that he knows that I'm the one that tried to kill him. But I also want to get back to Marvin for a minute, because when Kanan got back in the car, Marvin was really putting some good points on him. Talking about, you may not think that your family is what they are, what they should be, but I think what he was saying to Kanan was also
it applied to him.
It applied to him.
Himself.
He said we might not be perfect. That's all he over there venting.
And he was over there thinking about Jukebox. So
he over there venting,
yeah.
But he was giving him some great, some real good gems about what your family is and what it isn't. So, but I like Kanan, he's
But I think it's only a matter of time though before Detective Howard whips out them DNA papers, saying because that's the end all. That's the end all. You can't refute that.
Swab his mouth. Like
Kanan to make that move to go and seek and go to Detective Howard's house. That's a big, huge move.
It is.
That means Kanan wants to know more. Right. And he now knows that his mom is lying to him.
Right.
See, that's why and now it's interesting when she drove off. What is she thinking?
Rock gonna try to kill.
She looked hurt because she. That's why I said she took L's this episode, because Symphony dumped her. Her team got jacked in New Jersey, and then she's losing her son, and she's losing. Yeah, and I think what led Kanan to go over there to see him was the conversation that he had with Juke. Because once Juke said that she went to see her mom, and then she said it was something about her eyes that felt like home and stuff. Kanan was looking, and I think he probably figured, okay, I'm gonna go and talk to him, and I'm gonna see if I can see, some familiarity, something he can ask some questions. But if that conversation with Juke led him to
absolutely.
And not to mention, Howard did put, he may have already seen it in Howard's eyes, because, even before, when Howard was talking with him while in the car, you could see in Kanan that
he was believing him.
Right, that there was some validity to what Detective Howard was saying, which is why he wanted to try to go to the prison and see what Uncle Vernon would have to say, and see if there could be any controversy between the two communications. But there wasn't. He could. I think he saw right through Uncle Vernon.
And you know what? I think that now that Detective Howard had that conversation with Andrea, and she was kind of letting him know, like, just because you are his father doesn't mean you're like his dad. Like, that's not automatic bond. Like, you really have to be there for him and prove yourself and support him. And I think that now that they've had that conversation, Kanan coming to his house is major because it's showing that he's receptive to hearing him out. And I think now it's like, this is like all the pieces are lining up against Rock. And I think she's going to do something drastic to try to take Howard out.
He might show her to show Kanan the DNA results while he over there.
I think so. Because that is really going to be the killer. It's going to kill all her lies.
In the words of Tyler Perry and Dana don't lie, DNA. Dana don't lie. Go ahead, sir.
Listen, no, you won't point with that. I was just going to say that in the previews for next week, she was taking him on a camping trip. And I said, and I think that's an attempt to get him away from Howard and also to still like do damage control and maintain control of that relationship because she knows she's losing Kanan.
Yeah, for sure.
The more
I don't know.
The more she's pushing him away. And if she doesn't see that, well, that demise is going to be sooner.
I think she does see it. I think she just gets desperate on how to stop it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can stop it at this point. Other than killing Detective Howard, which isn't going to be a smart move.
If she would just tell the truth,
well, that's my
she
point.
probably could stop it, and she's doing everything but.
Yeah, right. Except owning up,
being honest.
But that's Rock.
Yeah, and go ahead, son.
But isn't it ironic that Jukebox and him are going through the same thing at the same time?
And he's stealing the thoughts out of my head.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
This Rob just taught me.
Right, but it's so dope how they're both going through it. So they both have somebody to talk to about this because both of their parents. But I think Rock is going to try to do something to her mom or make her go away. Because she like, I don't want, like, why are you coming around now? I still think like Rock has some unfinished business with her mother.
I said the same thing when I was talking to my son, we're watching it, and I was like, Rock has been the mother figure for Juke. And she's protective of Juke. However, she's also controlling. She wants to control everything. Right. And that's why she said, she been in New York all this time, but she ain't come to get you. So
she straight up shot down her happiness.
Yes, she did. I was like, poor Juke. Her face was like, Pac-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a very jealous, controlling woman. And I think that's what controls her mostly with everything and everyone, and that's why she's so mad with,
Lou.
Yeah, Lou, because Lou wants to be a little more independent and be on his own. And everything he does and says, she shoots down. And you're not, I did like that one line she had though. What did she say?
About being on time. Yeah, that was dope when she said, she was like, yeah, I'm supposed to the money, but your first name is on point
and your last name is on time.
I was like, I heard that.
I was like, oh my God, she could come up with it. That was so perfect.
No nonsense.
That was
right.
Yeah, you straight up told him. I mean, they're like.
Now, do you think that?
I don't know. If I were Lou, you either got to do one or two things: just leave, or just go in 100%.
But she can't. But he can't. The thing, the unique situation about them. What will it look like for Rock, who's having a baby by a police officer, by a cop?
Yeah,
right.
Thinking about that, like, because then their story has to come out. How the heck did this drug dealer have a baby?
That's why she's trying to keep him.
That's why she's trying to
information coming out. Yeah, right. Because she's more worried about her
reputation. Absolutely,
reputation and
how a drug dealer sleeping with a cop. What you snitching, like, that's the whole, the street mentality thought.
I mean, she could try to say that, she was young. I mean, she was underage when it happened.
Underage.
So that she has that going for her. But, I don't think that since she's in the streets and she's selling drugs, I don't think that's a factor in people's mind. Like, you still are fooling with fed, you know, the ops.
5-0, right?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you, Tiara. I mean, she was underage. Hell, she could say I was raped by this cop. You know, I mean, look, if you want to lie, why not just go that route?
Oh, that route, right.
You know,
right.
so there are any number of things she can say. I think to mitigate the circumstance with
sitting on DEF CON's secret,
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't know that DEF CON was gay.
That's
That's the other thing.
right.
She's also protecting his reputation as well.
Right.
Yeah, so
that's what it's going to
It's a lot there, and you know, I was wondering if it the issue that Rock has with Jukebox's mother, if it's more than just being jealous. I wonder if they might have had a falling out too as well, because she definitely, like you said, she was spicy when she was talking about her mother. So I'm looking forward to learning more details about that situation and how it all went down. And I want to see LaToya Luckett and Patina in a scene together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's gonna be that church scene, and you know it'll be real interesting to see, you know, Jukebox scene at church with her mom.
She was picking out dresses.
That's what I say. You took my thoughts. See, now you still
But yeah, and it seems like she's really open to, you know, building with her mom. She's seeing that her mom is volunteering with kids and stuff. So I think that might have been like a little painful for her to see. But after hearing the explanation, at least she's trying, I think. And so seeing Juke and her mother try to rebuild from here, it's going to be interesting, because I still think that her mother being in the church and Juke's, you know, gay lifestyle is going to be a clashing point at some time.
Of course.
So that remains to be seen. But Jukebox also mentioned that while they were at Famous's party at his little house, that he was being a little extra and taking it further than he usually does with the flirting. So I was like, dang, like, what is up with Famous? Is this going to be a problem that causes Kanan and Famous to fall out? You know, the fact that he's doing this to Juke.
I didn't see that though.
I didn't see it, but she
didn't see it either. I didn't see it either.
I'm thinking she's saying that to try to throw it off, or like to try to get him away from him, because I didn't see that at all.
I didn't see it, but she said it for sure.
Yeah, she said it. She said it. I didn't see that either. I mean, I didn't see. He always flirted with Juke, and I saw that as the same flirtation he always.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing extra.
Right.
He offered her a song or something. So
yeah, that's
I don't know.
Oh, that was
Crown.
That was Crown.
Yeah, Jukebox did.
And Crown was in there looking like a creep too, in there eyeing a little underage girl.
Yes, he was looking at the little girl.
Well, let's talk about
looking at the little girl.
Let's talk about the knock at the door with little girl and her mom.
And her mom.
Corinne and her mom.
The mama looked like she was a creep too.
Hey,
the mama wants some.
Kanan was peeping moms too. He was like,
I was like, listen, he can't take Corinne and her mom down. I was like, what?
Moms, you saw Moms was a little cougar. She's a little cougar.
Mom was giving him the eye.
And then I was surprised she let him go to. She said, "Can I come into the party?" I think
just for a little bit.
Just a little bit, but I was like, even the parents out there, I've been like, "What up in here? What they doing? They drinking smoke?" You know, right? Just let her go. I was like,
they up to something.
Mom knew what the family members about.
Mom's put her daughter right in there. Said, yes. "You're going in there. Don't stay out too late." You already knew what was up because you heard the loud music and everything.
And Corinne was very assertive too.
Very.
Yeah, she was. She was all over. I was
the first time, hot right on his lap and talking about, "Now you got a girl."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got motives.
They got
her and that mama got some motives.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kanan need to be on the lookout. And it looks like next week in the previews, Kanan might be getting into it with a Hannah, the white chick, and Rock is warning him against, you know, being around her. So Kanan gotta watch out who he's bringing into his life. Especially when Rock is his mama.
Right.
Jukebox can explain.
It looks like they were helping to get rid of a body too. So
I'm like this went left.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That camping trip gonna turn into a lot more than just camping.
It might be the wall. It might be whatever's in that wall just to get that stench out of there. Because
well, you know, it looked like the white chick's father might have been snooping at Kanan, and then he had a gun cornering him.
Thank you. That's what I think happened, because in the trailer you can hear Rock saying to him, like, "What I tell you about messing with these white people, they'll get you killed."
Right.
And so I think something gonna happen with the girl's dad, and they're gonna take him out.
And I think just jumping ahead for previews for next week. I'm sorry, not previews, but predictions. I think that Rock might try to use that moment of, her and Kanan burying the body together as a bonding type deal, and try to manipulate him further with that. But, Rock is something else. And then I wanted, before we moved on past the jukebox situation, I wanted to talk about Marvin, because he put a little effort into trying to get her back. He decorated her room and painted and put up posters she might like, then had the little instruments set up with the bows on them. So he did put forth a little effort, but he still did not address, he didn't apologize, take accountability for what he did. Because
that's what I told my son. I was like, I said, I do appreciate that he's trying. And so I said, but he has yet to apologize.
Yeah, he got to be accountable. He's
trying to like talk like everything is normal, but he hasn't apologized. But my thing is also with you. Like, I don't blame her for wanting to know her mom. She left when she was a baby. But I'm also kind of like, you're willing to forgive this woman who abandoned you over your father. Like, what Marvin did was despicable. He should have never put his hands on her that way. And I'm not excusing what he did. But I'm like, it's interesting that she seems more
open to
forgiving mom as opposed to her dad.
Well, come on, Tiff. Now, we talked about this before, another episode. Is there something about y'all as moms where we can forgive y'all for whatever?
Like, but I think it also goes to accountability goes far, because mom owned up. She said, I was wrong, I was young.
Exactly.
Like, she owned up to it. Marvin still has not addressed the problem.
That's true.
But I think the biggest elephant in the room is the fact that Marvin tried to choke out his own daughter. I mean,
that was good.
And also
she almost died.
Nicole. And what he said about Nicole, like he said, she deserved to die. Yeah. So that's the other thing that was unforgivable for Juke.
I don't know how much
you put hands on me. You talked about her.
And I do agree that Marvin needs to sit down and he has to own up to the fact that I was completely wrong for trying to choke him.
Well, I think that therapist is going to tell him that next week, because you see the previews, he's kind of explaining the situation to her. So I think she will be the intermediary that's going to help Juke and Marvin get back to a better place.
And that's going to put them two together. That's going to be
it is.
She's going to be
that is going to be his boo.
Absolutely.
That's going to be his boo.
And we saw that coming. I mean,
a mile away. Yeah. She see the glitz and the glamour. Right.
And she was the whole time.
Yeah. And so the last thing that we haven't really touched on yet is Detective Burke. She had gone to visit Unique, of course, snooping around for information. And we kind of touched on this a little bit last week when we said she might be, doing a little bit too much, overstepping, because she doesn't have that kind of rapport with Unique to be rolling up on him and trying to get information. And he also has a relationship with Howard, that she is not privy to. So I think she is always out of line and overstepping and trying to like her captain said, doing things that makes the situation worse.
Right. But she don't know better, because she's really a police officer. So she's not in the mix like everyone else is. Howard is always going to protect Kanan no matter what. So if a body does get buried and Kanan's name is put in it, I believe he's going to protect him regardless. But this detective, she wants to do her job.
I thought it was very funny too how Unique was kind of like checking her out. He's like, we can get you some fabrics to accentuate whatever you got.
It's funny. Get you a linen pants.
Sarcastic.
It's funny to me though, because the actress that plays Detective Burke, when we seen them at the premiere party, she is so gorgeous in person. Yes. And you almost wouldn't recognize her if you've seen her on the street, because she's kind of just looking very feminine. But in this role as Detective Burke, they have her like hair pulled back, and she's kind of like plain Jane in this role.
Right. Well, you see her in person,
but she's gorgeous. So yeah, it's funny that he made that mention of her, talking about accentuate whatever you got up under there, because she's always wearing this trench coat
and dowdy clothes. Yeah.
Can we get her on the show? That would be dope to talk to her. That would be dope.
That would be dope. We can work on that.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Yeah, we can definitely work on that. But I think you guys got anything else that we want to talk about that we haven't touched on?
Yeah,
I think we've kind of already gone through a lot, but I think the one thing we might have missed is that the tension between Crown and Lou.
Oh yeah. I was going to say before we got there about Burke that a lot of the motivation besides her wanting to be a good cop is because her father is a cop, and so that legacy. So she's also trying to prove herself.
Yes, yeah, that's true too.
Right. Although I have to ask the question, and I could be wrong, but I wonder if she had a white partner and having the same circumstances, would she be pushing as hard trying to discover the truth as she has with Detective Howard? I think personally just has this thing with Howard that's a little rooted beyond the partnership and things like that, because her dad told her how you're supposed to react with a partner.
Absolutely.
You have to be straight up with him. You gotta trust everything because your partner is your backup. That's you
no
can't
matter what.
And really,
No, I agree, but I think it's because she sees her partner got shot. He has secrets, and you saying you don't remember who shot you. She doesn't really believe that he doesn't know who shot him, and so I think that just has awakened her curiosity. And I think for anyone, even if it was a white partner, you're like, wait a minute, somebody shot you. The person's still out there, and
but your doctor told you that it's possible that he could be going through this.
Right.
No. So my point is, what evidence do you have to show to kind of explain your disbelief? So
she doesn't.
She doesn't have it, and so she's drumming up. She's trying to drum up evidence to show that he's not telling the truth. And let's just say that she does find out that he's not telling the truth. And let's say that he does, he tells her, that he had been lying. What would she do? So my question is, with all of what you're trying to do, what's your end game? That's what I'm
right. Yeah. I think for her, it's less about like justice and getting the right guy, and more about saying, I knew you were lying.
Exactly.
I told her that.
Right.
Yeah.
She don't get herself killed. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm messing with Unique too. I mean,
he ain't nobody to play with, as we can see.
No, he ain't.
Yeah. And then back to the tension with Lou and Crown, I think that's going to continue to build. It looks like next week previews, they pulling guns on each other. So
yeah, because you see, he didn't have the motherboard, the mixing board and stuff, and I was like, I feel like Crown did that on purpose. He's definitely working against Lou behind the scenes.
Well, he working with Rock too, because remember he went.
That's what I'm saying. He working against him, and I was like, because first when I saw it, I was like, crackhead Crown, and then sold the mixing board and stuff. He's a crackhead. But I also said, when I said, this dude is doing this stuff on purpose.
Yeah, he is. And that's going to get him hurt.
He's trying to push him out. That way he can get control of his business back.
Yeah.
With the control of the way he's handling Juke. Like, Juke is way better, far better than the other woman that's singing.
But they get ready. You weren't here last week, Haas, when we talked about this. They get ready to steal Juke's song.
Of course.
Yep.
So she has that beautiful song called Bruce. And you see, he handed her that cassette tape. I think that's the song on it. Right. And that was my prediction last week. I was like, they're gonna steal Juke's song and give it to Zisa.
Right.
Well, now I feel like I got confirmation that what I was saying was right, because I wanted to hear the song Bruise, and I listened to the Raising Kanan soundtrack in my car. And as soon as I listened to Bruise jukebox version, the Bruise remix came on with Zisa on it. And it's the same song, but it's a different tempo, a little more upbeat and stuff. And I was like, there it is. We ain't seen it yet, but it's getting ready to happen. They getting ready to snatch up Juke's song and give it to Zisa.
Terrible. Terrible. Well, I think we have a lot to look forward to. I think the thing that I'm most interested in is seeing how Rock and Kanan are going to deal with each other in this next episode, because he's kind of telling her, like, you need to tell me the truth, and she's saying the same to him. And then Rock said something interesting too about Kanan getting to an age where he's going to be wanting real money, and so I'm like, is she trying to pull him back into the drug business too? I'm like, that's
she's trying to keep
that's
him
what
close.
We got on Tasha about showing Tariq the game.
She losing him, and she is desperate.
But he has it in him though when he tried to figure out a way to push Famous album allegedly, but it was a real reason to get rid of that work so they can get money.
But I'm saying in Kanan though, it's less about going out in the street and making money, because the 2 times that he supposedly has taken the money, he's done that just to help his friend.
To try to help, yeah.
Right.
Help.
So
I don't think I don't. Here a Rock goes again, making these assumptions about her son and not fully understanding who her son really is.
Right.
She's not taking the time to really understand who is this.
Yeah, Rock is something else as a parent. You know, we got on her last season about this being almost worse than Tasha, I think, and how she deals with Kanan.
I think she's worse.
She is
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to next week to see how this camping trip goes, because it just looks like it all goes to hell.
Right.
But I enjoyed this episode very much. So I'm looking to see what happens with the Italians, and if their partnership, or if their running can become a partnership, because the guys seem to have taken a liking to Rock. So I wonder if they'll come to some happy medium. But you know, guess we'll have to wait until next week. It's going to be the mid-season, so you know that's where things start to ramp up. Yes. So I'm definitely looking forward to that and seeing how things go. Do you guys have any other comments or predictions you want to throw out there?
I'm just excited to look forward to it. This is an awesome season, great writing, and this is going to be great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, so we can talk about it, see if our predictions come true.
Yep. Okay. Well, if y'all don't have anything else, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Please make sure you drop down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts on this episode, and also give us your predictions as well. And if you see that red button over there that says subscribe, you need to click it. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and have your notification bell on, so you get alerted every time we post, because you never know what we have up our sleeves and you don't want to miss out. Also follow us on every major social media platform at The Spot Real Talk. We do a lot of our communications and booking guests for our show over on Instagram. So if you are interested in joining us like Hassan has today, make sure you hit us on the gram, drop into the DMs.
I was gonna say check out our playlist too, because the interviews that we've done, several people.
And one other thing, if you are a little visually impaired, the subscribe button is on the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And I just want you to pay more attention to that. Hit it several times. I don't care. Just hit the button, subscribe.
It's important to subscribe because the support is shown that way. You know, if people, the viewers are watching, but it's about the support. This is what keeps the spot going, keep these guys motivated to bring on great guests, showing that, you know, all right, everybody's watching, but the support is what shows. So the support is needed for the spot, because the spot is the spot. So come on and subscribe so the spot can keep going.
I know that's right.
A lot of things coming your way, so you definitely want to be a part.
Yes. And if you look at that playlist, you see that we've already had a lot of things happening on here.
Yes, indeed. So thank you, Hassan, for joining us today. It's a pleasure as always. You're welcome back anytime.
I'm family. I'm going to be around.
You got that right. And on that note, I think we'll call it a night. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Never take it. You'll never take it. How my bills, 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 how my $100 bills, how my side, how my stacks. I relax. She a rat. It's a trap in the sack. $100 stacks down the street. I don't like that. Gotta run, 45 handgun, nobody gonna stun. Take my treasure, son, Porsche, get away. Fight another day. I'm running.